Hi everyone. Hope all of you are keeping safe. So today we wanted to make this video to educate all of you about the new changes in the Canadian Express Entry system. So some of these changes might be directly related to COVID-19 situation and some of them might or might not be. We will be discussing 7 major changes happened to the Canadian Express Entry system, and also we will give you some other changes and some other things at the end of the video as well.
So guys, the first thing we are going to talk about is the express entry draws that happened recently, and many of you might have so many doubts about what happened in these draws because there were so many draws close by and there were different types of draws. So today we are going to give you all a clear picture as to why this happened and what we can expect in the coming days. So first of all, let's look at some of the draws that happened recently. The latest draw, which was on 16th of April 2020, was the 144th draw. It was a Canadian experience class draw, which means people who were having Canadian experience of at least 1 year were in this pool, and they were the eligible people for this draw about the one previous. So let's see. 143rd draw, 15th of April 2020, was a provincial nomination draw. So people who were having a PNP invitation were eligible for this draw. Then 142nd, another CEC draw on 9th April. And on the same day, there was a PNP draw, which was the 141st draw. Then the 140th, 23rd of March, another CEC draw. Then 18th of March, provincial nominee program. Now before these days, everybody knows how the draws were, no program specified. So that is the typical draw where all of you are familiar with, where CEC, Federal Skilled Worker and PNP, everybody is eligible. And that was the 138th draw on March 4th. And after that, we didn't see a draw like this. So we put all those data together in a graph so you can see what is going on. So this is the graph. So as you can see in this graph, this has all the draws held in 2020. So it all started on 8th January, the first draw for 2020, the 134th draw, and the cutoff score for that was 473. And there were 5 draws in the similar fashion: 471, 472, 470, and 471. But after 4th of March, after the 138th draw, things changed and IRCC decided to have draws for specific categories. That is why, as you can see in dark purple, the PNP draws, which happened with scores of 720, 698, and 808, were the 3 PNP draws. And the CEC draws in blue, you can see the 467, the 464, and 455 cutoff marks. So you can see that IRCC has been looking at selecting a specific pool of candidates from all the express entry candidates due to the current situation, and you can see these more clearly once you populate this with the number of candidates selected. So in the next graph, you all can see we have included the invitations that were issued, and you can identify why such variations happen in different times. So for example, you can see there were 4,500 candidates invited on February 19th, and that could be the result why the score dropped a little to 470. Similarly, we can see variations in the PNP invitations. There's about 100 jump from 9th April PNP invitation to 15th April. So that is possibly because of the less number of candidates who were invited on the 15th of April, which is only 118 number of people. Then if you look further, you can see gradually the CEC draws are also slowly dropping, which could be a result of more candidates being invited. As you can see, from 23rd March to 16th April, the number of candidates that were invited in CEC draws gradually increased. Say on 23rd March, it was only 3,232, but it has gradually increased up to 3,782 by the last CEC draw, which was on April 16th. So you can pause the video and look at this a little longer and see the patterns, and you can see what to expect in future. Another thing that you can notice in this data is that IRCC is giving high priority to people who are already in Canada in the form of having Canadian experience. That is why they are conducting CEC draws. So there will be less amount of people who will be traveling outside from Canada to inside. Hopefully things will change with time and we might be able to see some federal skilled worker draws or non-specified draws in future.
So the next major thing that will be happening in the near future in the Canadian Express Entry system is the increase of the application processing fee and the right of permanent residence fee. So now we'll discuss about the changes in each and every category. So let's move on to the computer screen. So the previous rate for the principal applicants of the economic business class was $1,050 and the new rate is 1,575 Canadian dollars. So the increase percentage is 50%. And for other normal applicants like us, principal applicants in the economic non-business class, their previous rate was 550 Canadian dollars and the new rate is $825. So again, there is an increase of 50%. So the fees for the spouses or the common law partner in all economic classes, again the previous rate was $550 and the new rate is $825. Fees for dependent children of all economic classes, it was $150. Now it has been increased up to $225, and the right of permanent resident fee also has been increased slightly. So previous it was $490 and now it is $500 and they have increased it from 2%. So these changes will come in effect from 30th of April this year, and the next scheduled change is to be done in 2022 in another 2 years time.
Guys, the third important change to Express Entry system that we're going to talk about is the submission time for biometrics. Generally, we were given a 30-day period for the submission of biometrics from the day we received the biometric letter. Now it has been increased up to 90 days. So as IRCC says, even though your letter says 30 days, you will have 90 days to submit your biometrics. And even if you feel the situation doesn't allow you to submit in this time frame, you can always contact them through a web form and they will give you alternative solutions.
So let's move on to the fourth update. As you might know already, only PR holders, Canadian citizens and their immediate family can come to Canada at the moment. However, there are some exemptions. So one is, if your permanent resident application was approved by the IRCC on or before 18th March 2020, you can come to Canada. However, if you come to Canada, you will have to provide a solid plan, as in how you self-quarantine yourself for 14 days of period. If you fail to provide a plan, as in how you are going to self-isolate yourself, you will have to go through the government quarantine process.
Guys, the next update is about your landing interview. So all this time you had a one-to-one landing interview with a landing interviewer. So now it has been moved on to a telephone conversation. You will receive an email from IRCC as to when this will happen.
So the next update will be a very good news to most of you. Usually we get 60 days to upload our documents to the system. But now, due to the current situation, IRCC's website has given you 90 days to upload all the documents. And even though if you can't upload all the documents within this 90 days period, your application will not be closed or refused. So what you can do is, if you can't provide any document, you can contact the IRCC through a web form and inform them.
So we will move on to the last point. It is about the process of Express Entry. So IRCC states that all the Express Entry draws will continue to happen and all the applications will get processed during this COVID period. However, they say to expect certain delays for applications which were submitted after 18th of March. The applications submitted after 18th of March may not have the 6-month timeline that the IRCC gives. It might be a little more than that.
So apart from those changes, the tips we are going to give you now will be valuable for the students who are waiting to come to Canada. So if your student permit was granted to you on or before 18th March this year, then you are exempt from the travel restrictions. That means you can come to Canada on any date. However, again you will have to go through the 14 days quarantine period. And a good news for you is that even though your lectures are conducted online, still you will be eligible for the postgraduate work permit program. If you have the study permit in your hand, and if your course is starting in May or June, and also if you can't come to Canada due to the traveling restrictions, you can follow the course residing in your country, and you can follow it up to 50%. So even though you do like that, you are still eligible for the postgraduate work permit program. If you are an international student who is already in Canada, you can work for more than 20 hours per week if you have the following conditions. The condition number 1 is if you are eligible to work off campus, and the condition number 2 if you are providing an essential service. So if you meet those two conditions, you can work in Canada for more than 20 hours per week.
Next, we'd like to talk about the confusion regarding the IELTS indicator. Yes, IELTS have launched a program where you can take the IELTS exam at home. It'll be same to the normal IELTS exam where the reading, writing and listening will be a continuous exam for 2 hours and 40 minutes where you will be at home in front of your computer and you can take the test, and the speaking test will be a video call with an examiner. However, this is known as IELTS indicator, and this is being brought to the picture in order to give an IELTS indicator English language benchmark for universities around the world, for colleges around the world to assess the students. We are yet to see who and what organizations are willing to accept these credentials, and only a few participant organizations around the world have already said they are willing to accept it, and most of them are still not accepting. Also, this is an academic examination and it will not be valid for your PR applications, whether it be Canada, Australia or New Zealand. So keep that also in mind and do your research before taking the IELTS indicator exam as to what universities will actually accept it.
We really hope that you enjoyed our video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do subscribe and hit on the bell button as well, so you will get notifications as soon as we upload our video. So hope to see you in our next video. Until then, keep safe and take care of yourself.